Welcome back. Coming up in sports, we have the Oilers dropping their 4th straight last night, Toronto Maple Leafs honoring goaltending great Johnny Bower, and a G League basketball team sporting some unique uniforms. But first we have the weather with Eric Tashner. Eric, how are things looking out there?
Well, Hugh, we're going to have some cloudy conditions over the next couple days. We saw lots of cloud today and even a couple of days ago as well. We saw some very cold temperatures. You were in Toronto at the time, so you kind of dodged it, but we saw minus 34 on New Year's Eve. But now we're starting to get a little bit colder, though. We're looking at minus 8, minus 9, and then by next week, though, we're going to go back at our temperature highs. We're going to be sitting around minus 18, minus 20. So we're going to start getting a little bit colder. But this week, not too bad. But, all in all, it's not minus 40. So I guess we can't complain. And let's look at that Farmer's Almanac. Today's sunrise, 9:30 a.m. But the sunset, 4:41. So last week we saw 4:30. It's starting to rise a little bit more as days start to get longer. Today's average high in the Peace region was minus 9. Meanwhile, the low was minus 20. Next full moon, January 31st. And the barometric pressure sitting at 102 kPAs. Dawson Creek's high today, plus 5, record high of plus 11 set in 2001. Meanwhile, in 1982, it was very cold, minus 41 was the record low. Chetwynd saw a high of plus 3, not too bad, record high of plus 12 set in 2001. Meanwhile, in 1991, we saw a record low of minus 37. Fort St. John, plus 4 today, record high plus 7 set in 2001. It was a good year in 2001. Meanwhile, 1950, it wasn't, minus 40. Very, very frigid temperatures. And Fort Nelson, minus 13 was the high, record high of 0 in 1947. And in 1982, we saw a record low of minus 44. Looking at the regional map, like I said earlier, we're going to have some cloud coverage over the next few days. Look at Fort Nelson, minus 13. We have a mix of sun and cloud expected. Mostly cloudy conditions in Fort St. John, minus 9. Dawson Creek and Chetwynd, minus 8 degrees, in both communities. Mix of sun and cloud in both communities. Looking at Hudson's Hope, minus 2. Mix of sun and cloud expected. And all the way down in Tumbler Ridge, minus 5. Mix of sun and cloud. And over across the border, Spirit River, minus 4. Mix of sun and cloud. Grand Prairie looking pretty warm. We're looking at 0 for tomorrow with a mix of sun and cloud expected. Looking at the 5-day forecast for Fort St. John. Tonight we're looking at a low of minus 8. Some clouds will come into the region, and we're going to have more pour in by Thursday, because Thursday we're looking at minus 9. Mostly cloudy conditions, a low of minus 10 is expected. Friday, minus 7, a little warmer, mostly cloudy conditions. And we're going to have some of those clouds maybe stay, maybe leave. Don't know yet, because Saturday we're looking at just a 30% chance of flurries. Minus 8 is expected. And Sunday, starting off ending the weekend, we're looking at minus 8 degrees, mostly cloudy conditions. But as we move into next week, we're going to have some very frigid temperatures. So stay tuned as we'll update you on that. But Dawson Creek, similar sort of conditions tonight, just partly cloudy. Minus 8 is going to be the low. Thursday, just a mix of sun and cloud. Minus 8 degrees is expected. We're going to have more clouds pour into the mile zero city, as we're expecting a high of minus 7, mostly cloudy conditions. If you look at Saturday, though, we're going to have that 30% chance of snowfall expected. We're looking at a low of minus 8. While Sunday, mostly cloudy conditions, minus 8 degrees is expected. And we're going to have that cold temperature start again coming into the next week. We'll update with you tomorrow on that as well. Looking at BC and Alberta, we'll start in Prince Rupert, 7 degrees, lots of rainfall expected over the next few days. Meanwhile, in Fort Nelson, minus 13, a mix of sun and cloud for tomorrow. Mostly cloudy in Fort St. John, minus 9. Lots of cloud in Prince George, we're looking at minus 8 degrees. And Vancouver, maybe a chance of rain, high of 6 degrees is expected. And Alberta's not looking too bad either. Edmonton, we're looking at positive 3, mostly cloudy conditions up there. And down Calgary, positive 4, mostly cloudy, so not too bad down in the two big cities in Alberta. And finally, starting off with the national forecast, Regina, minus 8 degrees. Some snowfall is expected. Meanwhile, very cold temperatures in Winnipeg, minus 21, a mix of sun and cloud. Thunder Bay, same goes, but just a degree colder, minus 22. And down in Toronto, plus 10. Got a good chance of snowfall, though, but if we're holding out at plus 10, then it shouldn't snow. But looking at Quebec, just a couple hours away, minus 9. Lots of snowfall going to be expected in Montreal. And looking at St. John's, you're looking at minus 2, a mix of sun and cloud. Meanwhile, Halifax, a 40% chance of flurries, +3 will be your high for tomorrow. And that's all the time we have for weather, but stay tuned. Road Report is up next.